Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a question that has been buzzing since Brexit. Could Britain rejoin the European Union? It has been 5 years since the United Kingdom left the EU, and with regrets growing, closer ties are back on the table. In this video, we will explore 10 key reasons why rejoining might happen or why it could face huge hurdles. Stick around to the end for what this means for the future. If you enjoy deep dives like this, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us get started. 1. Shifting public opinion in the UK. Public opinion has flipped dramatically since the 2016 vote. Back then, 52% backed leaving, but now polls show deep regret. A YouGov survey from January 2025 found that 55% of Britons believe leaving the EU was the wrong call, up from just 37% in 2020. By June 2025, Euronews reported a clear majority would vote to stay in a new referendum. Even in September, another poll hit 54% favoring full rejoin. This sea change, driven by younger voters and economic woes, puts pressure on leaders. Labour figures like Andy Burnham openly called for rejoining, saying it is time to fix the mess. Without public buy-in, nothing moves, but this tide is turning fast, making rejoin talks more real than ever. 2. The heavy economic toll of Brexit. Brexit has hit the UK wallet hard, fueling calls to reverse course. A landmark NBR study estimates that by now, the UK GDP has shrunk by 6 to 8% because of leaving the EU. That is hundreds of billions in lost output. Investment dropped 12 to 18%. Jobs fell 3 to 4%, and productivity dipped by the same. Services exports to the EU, a UK strength, have plummeted compared to pre-Brexit levels, per Bank of England. The Office for Budget Responsibility notes new trade deals add just 0.1% to growth over 15 years, a drop in the ocean. With inflation stubborn and growth sluggish, experts say rejoining the single market could claw back 4% of GDP alone. The numbers scream for a rethink. 3. Labour government's reset agenda. Under Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the UK is warming to Europe again. Elected in 2024, Labour promised a reset, and 2025 delivered. The May 19th summit, with EU leaders, renewed the trade deal until 2038, easing youth mobility and defence ties. Starmer has ruled out rejoining soon, but pushed for deeper links, like electricity market access. Yet, voices inside Labour grow louder. In July, party insiders floated rejoining as a growth fix, arguing it would boost exports by 20% overnight. The government's own forecasts show Brexit shaved 0.8% off annual growth. With the economy top voter worry, pressure mounts for bolder steps. If polls keep trending pro-EU, Starmer might pivot, turning reset into re-entry. 4. EU's conditional welcome mat. The European Union leaves the door cracked but not wide open. Brussels insists any return means full membership, no cherry-picking. A YouGov poll across Germany, France, Italy, and Spain showed majorities welcoming the UK back, with 60% in favor. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen echoed this in May, saying the UK is family. But November 18th news confirmed a catch for single-market perks like energy trading. The UK must pay into the EU budget, potentially billions yearly. No special deals, per diplomats. This stance punishes past brinkmanship but signals willingness if the UK commits. With Ukraine's war highlighting unity needs, the EU sees Britain's return as a strength boost. The ball is in London's court, but the terms are tough. 5. Northern Ireland's fragile peace. The Northern Ireland issue looms large in Rejoin debates. Brexit's border checks sparked violence fears, leading to the Windsor Framework in 2023, but tensions simmer. In 2025, Unionists boycotted Stormont over perceived EU rule creep. Rejoining could erase the Irish Sea divide, restoring seamless trade and calming politics. A March parliamentary petition highlighted how EU ties would secure peace, boosting the region's economy by 15% via open borders. Yet, full rejoin means Northern Ireland fully in the EU, potentially straining UK unity. Sinn Féin, now leading polls, pushes for Irish unity if Brexit bites persist. Fixing this protocol mess via re-entry might heal divides, but risks Scottish or Welsh independence calls. It is a high-stakes puzzle. 6. Trade barriers draining businesses. Daily trade headaches make Rejoin appealing for firms. Post-Brexit UK-EU goods exports fell 14% by 2024, per official stats, with paperwork costs up 250% for small businesses. The single market's frictionless access vanished, hitting sectors like cars and food hard. A British Foreign Policy Group report in January warned of ongoing 4% GDP drag without fixes. Rejoining would slash tariffs and red tape, potentially adding £100 billion to annual trade. Services, 80% of UK exports, suffer most from visa snarls. With China and US deals stalling, Europe's 450 million consumers tempt. Business lobbies from CBI to Make UK now openly back closer ties. The math favors reunion. 7. Legal hurdles and the long road back. Rejoining is not a quick U-turn, it is a marathon. Article 49 of the EU Treaty requires unanimous approval from all 27 members, plus negotiations on budget shares and laws. The UK would reapply as a new candidate, facing years of talks like Croatia's decade-long wait. Legal experts in a September Commons briefing say adopting Euro and Schengen is off the table initially, but single market rules bind fast. Cost? Up to €100 billion in back payments, per think tanks. Yet, precedent helps Greenland left and could return easily. With Labour's pro-EU bent, Parliament might fast-track the application. The process daunts but doable, especially if economic pain peaks. 8. Soaring financial demands from Brussels. Money talks and the EU wants its cut. Pre-Brexit, the UK paid €19 billion net yearly, now zero. For Rejoin, expect similar plus arrears. The Guardian report detailed budget contributions for market access could hit £10 billion annually. A renewal think tank piece warned rejoining Horizon Europe alone costs £2 billion but yields 5 times in research gains. Critics cry sovereignty loss, but proponents note EU funds rebuilt regions and funded green tech. With UK debt at 100% of GDP, this stings, yet polls show 60% willing to pay for benefits. Farage's reform UK rails against it, but fiscal reality might force the checkbook. 9. Global shifts favoring European unity. World chaos amplifies Rejoin logic. Russia's Ukraine war, now in year 4, underscores NATO-EU overlap. Britain's return bolsters the bloc's defense heft. IAI analysis called the May summit a realism pivot amid US election wildcards. Trump's potential return threatens trade wars, making EU stability golden. Climate goals too, rejoining nets EU green funds, targeting net zero by 2050. Polls show 70% of young Britons prioritize global ties. China's rise demands collective bargaining power. Without EU heft, UK deals lag. Its CPTPP pact adds just 0.08% GDP. Geopolitics whispers, isolation costs clout. Rejoin restores a seat at the big table. 10. Viable alternatives, muddy the waters. Full rejoin is not the only path. Half measures tempt. The May deal extends trade to 2038, adding defense pacts and student swaps. Starmer eyes Norway-style EEA access. Single market entry without voting rights, costing £7 billion yearly. But this irks leavers as EU light. A July Labour list op-ed slammed it, pushing full membership for sovereignty regain via co-decision. Polls split, 40% back, EEA 30 for rejoin, rest status quo. With EU fatigue in France and Germany, bespoke deals falter. Alternatives buy time but delay full fixes. If economic hits worsen, 8% GDP loss by year end, piecemeal might yield to bold re-entry. So, there you have it. 10 reasons why Britain rejoining the EU feels closer yet fraught. From regretful voters and GDP wounds to EU demands and global polls, the case builds, but politics and pounds stand in the way. As of November 20th, 2025, no application looms but whispers grow. What do you think? Time to rejoin or stay sovereign? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share if this sparked debate. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more on world affairs. Until next time, keep questioning the status quo. Cheers!